Hi, my name is Rick. Some people know me as Rico. I'm the writer and producer of the screenplay Eddy's Fantasy. Eddy's Fantasy is a story about a nightclub dummy that has his own life outside of working with a ventriloquist. When Clyde G. Woodson, the nightclub dummy, decided to take this role, I was very elated. I heard that he had worked some of the biggest people in the industry. And I want to tell you that Clyde is a professional all the way. As a director, he's a dream to work with. He's up there with character actors like Willem Dafoe. He's up there with Denzel Washington, but really nobody knows it, and he never gets the credit for it. But still, Clyde just works for the love of the craft and not all the money. But Clyde is over the top. He's one of the best. When he told me that he was going to work for this film, you just don't know how happy I was. I had heard so many things about him. He was a professional. He brings so much to the film set. And I wanted him for this film, and I'm glad he took the role. He is truly going to make this film one of the more memorable pieces that come out of Cleveland. As the writer and producer and director, this is a very hard project to do because I become one of the voices and the animation for the character Little Eddie, who is played by Clyde G. Woodson. I give it the voice and I give it the life. The dummy itself is owned by Kenny Adams, who works under the name of Kenny and Clyde as a nightclub act. The story itself is based on a story that I wrote involving the dummy who has a real-life girlfriend played by Alyssa Hanna. His girlfriend's name is Dixie. And what they do is they have this little adventure and a lot of comical things that happen along the way. The ending is a real surprise, and it's going to be a surprise to most people because some of the actors don't even know what the ending is right now. So we're really having fun making this film. We've created some sets in a small area. We've given it a small movie with a big movie look. And that's what we're trying to produce here. And we're just having fun at it, and we hope you like the results. I'm the producer and director and writer, Ric Hampton, or Rico, whatever you choose to call me. We hope you like the film. Hi. Welcome to talking about Eddy's Fantasy. This is 15 years later after I made the movie Eddy's Fantasy. Since that time, the world has went through a lot of changes. One, we've had a black president. We're going through a pandemic for the last 3 or 4 years that has been all over the world. And we have a female black vice president. So those are some of the changes that have went out through the world. Also in the world of technology and digital, we've had a major change that has affected my life and a way that other artists can proceed with their work now in the world of filmmaking. At this point, Eddy's Fantasy has had the opportunity to come into the world of streaming. Eddy's Fantasy is available through a worldwide network of streaming apps, and it has been accepted to 3 apps at this moment right into the world itself today. I'm very proud of that because Eddy's Fantasy had almost been lost several times over the years in my computer, viruses, computer breakdowns, hard drive wipes, and everything, and so somehow the movie seemed to have survived for a reason, and maybe it's to this present day that it's being made available. So I'm very proud of that. The story now is 15 years later that I've started to talk about this, and the thing is the movie was made as a joke. I made every possible mistake deliberately that you can make in filmmaking, and I entered the movie into a couple of film festivals and won awards in film festivals. So somebody thought that I made something good. The original script took me 6 months to write. I started shooting without a script and finally had to stop and write a script for another couple of months to finish shooting. And lucky, the little girl that worked on the film with me that plays Dixie in the movie stuck with me all the way, and she came back for shooting a month later, and we shot the thing and finished it up. One of the problems with finishing it was on the last day of shooting, one of the actors that was supposed to play one of the characters didn't show up. So, not to disappoint the people that I had working with me that day, I went ahead and rolled it around in my head how I was going to finish shooting the film with a different ending without that actor. So I did, and the movie won festivals at that point, and so I was pleased with it. But for some reason, I guess as a director and producer, you're never satisfied with your work. So 4 years later, I got together and got another crew to finish the ending of the film. And so what I did was I took one of the characters, character of a guy named Martinez Garcias to play the character. He played the character Joanna Man in the film. So I got him to also play the ending character called Ahmed that was originally supposed to be played by his brother. So we shot for about 4 hours and came up with a finish to the film that I liked. And after that, I re-edited the film and put it in a festival again, and also won an award in a festival again. But the hard work that we did on the film, I realized going back and thinking about it, I played the voice of Little Eddie, which is a ventriloquist puppet. And I brought him to life, and thinking back on how I had to manipulate him, not being a ventriloquist, I had to contort myself in all kind of different positions to make him move and give him life as if he was a person. And so that was unusual, and that made it funny. I wish we had some outtakes of all of those scenes, but we didn't. And but still, I breathed life into the character, and you don't see me in the film except as a person. I play the kidnapper and do all the camera work and all the voiceovers and all of that kind of stuff. So that was my part of the project, but it was a very exhausting project, and it was the only one that I did like that. This is part 2. I would like to, in memoriam, I would like to say some of the characters that and people that played in this film. We lost a couple of the characters over just with life. My niece, Selena Murray, who took on the role of playing a stand-in for Dixie in a couple of the scenes. We threw a wig on her. She was the right height, the right skin tone and everything, and she was a perfect match for the girl Dixie. So she did that stand-in. But she also did a couple of scenes as a news reporter called Lotta S. Lutz. And she did very well. This was her first time acting, and I mean, she really tore that script up without reading. She read it, studied it, and came out like a pro. I wish she had continued with working with us in the acting field. However, her life was cut short. She passed away a couple of years after we did the film. Also in memoriam, I would like to say that a good old friend of mine, the guy that plays Shifty Fox, was named Ken Danch. This was his first project, and I introduced him in the world of movies and filmmaking, and he took to it like a fish to water. And he worked on several films in the Cleveland area after we did that, Eddy's Fantasy. But he had been a friend of mine for 50 years. We had worked together a long time ago as we was young kids, and we played golf together and did everything for 50 years. And however, Ken passed away a few years ago, I'm sorry to say, and he didn't get to see, and Selena didn't get to see this part of the journey. So at least I would like to say in memoriam to them that they helped out with this project. So at this point, Eddy's Fantasy can be seen anywhere in the world. It's on streaming apps. It's a comedy adventure about a little nightclub dummy that has his own life off stage, and he has a girlfriend named Dixie. And little things go on in the film. Eddy gets in trouble, he lands in prison, he gets out, and then finally little Eddy gets his revenge in the edge of the film, in the end of the film. So we had a good time making the film, and I didn't know that the film was going to come to this part of the journey. I'm 15 years older. I don't think I could make a film like that now because it was a very gruesome event doing it, but I decided to do it and get it completed. So at this point, I'm proud of where the work landed because outside of film festivals and things like that, there was no opportunity to place the film except in the film festivals. But at this point, the world can see the film and see a piece of work that I've done, and I'm proud to see my work up in a format with other films like my film that don't have a place necessarily in everywhere, not in every film festival. So at this point, I think I'll take that and see where it goes from here. This is another part of the journey. As a filmmaker, I have another film that I would like to get ready to get for those platforms, so that's my next goal. And also I would like to shoot another film that'll be a little easier to make that I have in mind. So hopefully for the year of 2022, at this point, I hope to make another film before I go into that final big stage up on the sky, and you'll see me in a movie screen on the sky. So this is Ric Hampton. I'm the writer, producer, and director of the film Eddy's Fantasy. I hope you get to see the film, and I hope you like it. Thank you.